Don't you know that I'm one of a kind? Or going in my feelings. I wanna take you inside of my mind. I know that you'll soon be hypnotized.
Well, if you want to get into it.
Okay, so hi, I'm Rachel, and I have a podcast, the Evolving Podcast, and today I really wanted to get on virtual and have a video with the beautiful Alyssa, who is been a mirror for me and who has really just helped me figure out how to present the embodiment of love to the collective for today's episode. So we're trying a little something different, and I hope that you like it. I know that everyone loves virtual visuals, so that's what we're here to bring you. And the topic is embodiment of love, and what do you do for yourself that makes you feel loved, that makes you feel good?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for phrasing all of that the way that you did. I think that was beautifully said. I feel so honored to be on here. This is, to my understanding, Rachel's almost second year anniversary on her podcast. So, and the first time we're doing video, right? Or you're doing video?
On my platform, yes. I've done video on other people's podcasts, but I haven't done it for myself, and you really just kind of pushed me. We're like, oh, let's do it, and I was like, that's honestly perfect. People ask me to do it all the time, but I usually just like go on like TikTok live and talk to people on there rather than doing a podcast on live. But we're getting out of our comfort zone and we're trying new things.
Absolutely. I think we've been connected now. I was gonna try to look and see, but I know it's been over a year and we have never met. This is our virtual presences connecting, and we've FaceTimed before, but Rachel and I have never met in person. So this is a very unique atmosphere to be in. I felt very connected to her upon having the initial FaceTime call. We connected over things like astrology and being a spiritually inclined, energetic being, and what that means to choose this human experience and to rise above this society that we live in and live in a higher state, which is love. And that self-love that you have to start with, this inner journey and balance that we have to work with. I didn't have these realizations until probably the mid 2022, the end of 2022. So it's been a year and a half, almost 2 years for me as well. And I think that's pretty cool, right? Like this alignment without really even knowing each other. But then we collided on a digital platform, and now we're creating together, which is very important for me. And getting to know what you're about. Like if you would like to touch on that, your sound healing. Music is an integral part of my life. I live, laugh, love music, and it's never going to go away. I'm a producer and I want to be a DJ and I love to sing, but you are tapped in spiritually if you want to dig into that.
So I do sound healing, and it'll be my 2-year anniversary in May. And basically I started that journey by doing it for myself. I really was getting into meditation. I got into crystals, and I figured out how to meditate, and the healing frequencies that I would listen to really just healed me. I would sleep to them. I would sleep to these like 8-hour healing. Yeah, exactly. I would sleep to that, and I would wake up and I would feel so empowered. I would feel so rested compared to when I wasn't sleeping with it. And this is the beginning of my spiritual journey, right? So this was like even before I became a sound healer. This was like 2020 when I started like just meditating to sound healing and finding it so beneficial. And I really went down the rabbit hole of like crystals and astrology and numerology. And then I was like, I think I'm ready to facilitate being a sound healer for other people. So I took a class, I got certified, and it was crazy because the whole class, everything they were saying, I was like, I know all these things. But I don't know how to deliver it. I don't know how to share it. I don't know how to use it to benefit other people. Like I only know the the pinpoints of it. I only know the science behind it. Like, I don't understand how I wasn't able to understand how to tap into other people to know what they needed to help them. And I had always been, you know, like intuitive, but once I started playing, I was able to tap into not only myself, because before you can tap into other people, you have to be able to tap into yourself. So I tapped into myself and just really like was honest and brutally honest, and reflected on what I was self-sabotaging with, what was beneficial to me, what was not. And then by doing so and being honest with myself, I created a space where I allowed others to reflect and be honest with themselves so that they could grow and they could feel empowered, and then they could figure out what made them feel good and what made them not feel as good. And by doing so, I just am setting the intention for people to feel empowered and to feel full of love, and to know that everything that they strive for, everything that they seek is within. And by going within, you will empower yourself and fuel yourself and fulfill yourself so much more than relying on anything externally to fulfill you, to fill your cup. And once you do that, once you can feel fulfilled in solitude, you become unstoppable. And on my journey, I've just been able to find what words, what things will help other people. And that's just by like saying certain things in a certain way and helping them shift their perspective. And they're like, I see. And once you have the awareness, then it's just a choice from that point forward. How do I want to go about this awareness? What do I want to do with this awareness? Am I ready to face this awareness?
I love saying, like, once you are aware, there's no going back. Like, you obviously can choose to not see, and we definitely hit on ignorance, the ignorance being bliss, but to choose awareness is to open up. And I think that might be the first, you know, we talk about acceptance, this inner journey, like the foundation of where you start with that is sitting in the uncomfortability, that solitude that you're talking about. And I think that for our entire society, we have billions of options to choose from in order to distract ourselves, right?
So many options.
Not just drinking, not just drugs, not just whatever your body's feeling. You know, maybe I know this, I don't want to strike a chord, and maybe you could talk on this. I totally can, but overworking yourself in the gym, like fitness being addicting, or the bodily pleasures that people seek being addicting. You know, like there are taboo subjects that people genuinely we dance around them, but addiction, if self-acceptance is a goal, addiction is on the other side of that, because to break away from those things is to accept, okay, I have to move forward in some circumstance, and it kind of probably means killing those parts of me, leading us into a whole other topic of leaving people where they're at, loving them, loving ourselves, but leaving people where they're at kind of makes me shaky, because I'm like, touchy subjects and intuitive feelings of growth and knowing that you yourself want to grow, but that might mean, you know, getting out of the environment that you're in, or sitting alone, and figuring out what your intentions and goals are for yourself. Like, if that's never been a thought before, actually thinking about it, actually letting yourself feel, I have dreams, I have things that I want to do. I don't know if they're going to happen tomorrow, this year, but there are things that I want to put into action. And I know that, like, if I stay where I'm at, it's not going to happen. Or maybe it's going to happen and I have to make certain changes, sacrifices, not self-sacrificing in this people-pleasing way, but ultimately pleasing ourselves and breaking off, shedding off parts of ourselves. Hurts. It is not easy.
It hurts so much.
The last 30 days, girl, last 60, 30 days, I'm like, it's been wild. It's been wild.
I feel you. I'm about to hit my 11th month no alcohol, and it's been very, very hard because the relationships, the patterns that I formed around alcohol, around going out, around being this person who overconsumed, overindulged, and then the reactions and the choices that I would make because of it aligned with a lot of people, because a lot of people are doing these things right now, and I have so much grace and understanding for them because I had been there for so long. For probably half of my life I was consuming substances to numb and to avoid the pain and avoid the truth of what I was feeling and why I was doing what I was doing. And in taking that step and really choosing to say, no, I'm no longer going to do this, even if it means I have to leave all these people behind, even if it means I have to miss out on this event and this thing and that thing, like even if it means I have to be alone, I'm gonna do it because it's what feels right to me. Because what I've been doing for 14 years of my life it's not working. It's no longer working for me to do these things. I have gone as far as I can go with these substances, and I'm ready to keep going, and I want to go further. And I wish that all the people that I've met and all the people I've connected with could come with me, but that's unrealistic because they haven't made that choice to leave these things behind and to go through the door and to keep going through the unknown. And it's very heartbreaking to go through that door and say, hey, are you coming? And they're like, I'll see you later, I'll meet you later, I'll come later. And having to like accept that that's where they're at and to say, okay, well, I love you.
Or not even getting a response. And I mean, like, we talk about rejection being redirection, getting left on red, metaphorically, literally, symbolically. I'm like, it gets on my nerves, but it also, I don't even like, I've been trying to rework the way that I say, you know, things break my heart open, you know. I have to feel because I love to feel. And we talked about suffering not sparing anybody. We chose this life knowing we were going to suffer. How scary does that sound? And not being fooled that everybody is scared, because these are fearful times that we live in, and I would be ignorant to say, like, I'm choosing love and light when I know I love my shadow and that in the darkness, and that part of me that really, you know, I might describe it as morbid. I'll go deep, and really deep, for a reason. There's things to like excavate in this society in order to help people feel. We came to help people heal. We also came to help people feel. That means us and each other. I don't genuinely know if, like, even in speaking about this, if it's going to tap into people's hearts, but I have this belief, right? Like, in my heart, I feel like speaking up about things like love changes the world. It changes us, and it changes whoever is here. Whoever gets tapped with this message, it is meant to find. It's not some frou-frou witchy shit. It's manifestation is so much more than magic. We create as we speak. That's why you're here. See,
absolutely.
See what happens after you realize you create as you speak. Watch the way that you say things or interact with people, or, you know, meeting a stranger, right? We talk about grace and kindness, but if we create as we speak and you're met with somebody you've never met before, it's a beautiful opportunity. I love first impressions, to be like, let me see if I can anchor into your heart real quick and not freak this person out, right? Like, wanting to love somebody and be like, no, don't go.
The attachment, man. It's like, for me, I majored in communications, right? Graduated 2018 with my bachelor's in communications. And with that, I learned that I can communicate with anybody, but I have to go about it a certain way. And then when I learned affirmations, and then when I learned sound healing and intuition and tapping into people's energy, I realized when people can be open to me and when my energy is being received and when they can't, and when to not continue on because I know that they can't. Exactly. I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to force it. I'm here. I'm talking, but as soon as I feel the pushback, as soon as I feel the resistance, I'm going to let up. Not because I don't believe in you, not because I don't love you, but because I know that that's as far as you're willing to go right now. And in that being as far as you're willing to go, like there's nothing wrong with that. Like if you can't run a 5K, that's nothing, there's not saying anything about you. There's nothing wrong with you not being able to run a 5K. But some other people are gonna say, I want to run a 10K. And you know what I mean? Like it's not about like, I'm better, you're better. It's not about like a competition. It's not about this and that. It's just how far you're willing to go at this point in this connection, and understanding and accepting like they get it this far, and I'm so glad we got to connect to this point. And hopefully this connection we'll be able to find each other again, and then we'll be able to go to the next step. But understanding that not everyone's ready to go to the top floor and hit 10 flights of stairs, you know? And it's just about accepting and knowing when your words are being valued and what you're saying is being taken in, and knowing when it's not, and accepting that it has nothing to do with you. It's just that's the point they are at in their life. Like just like a plant, you know, like you can't sit there and like watch the seed grow. You have to let it grow until it's ready to sprout, until it's ready to be seen. And that looks different for everybody, every species, every type.
I really genuinely feel like people can only meet you as deep as they meet themselves. And I know that that's a quote. I'm not going saying that I said that, but I believe that because I push myself so hard. I am my own worst critic. And to push somebody else is also to hurt me, because I push myself along with you. And to realize patience is a virtue, and that believing in realignment is not coincidental. It's lovely to believe that we can do inner work and re-meet or match up again later on in life, and not really even know that time frame. You know, I think people think later and they're like, you know, that's that don't go, don't leave me, I don't want to be alone, but I promise I'll see you later, you know, because if you choose you and I choose me, there's no telling where we're going to end up, but I know that we're going to have a lot of love for ourselves and for each other, you know. I wanted to ask you, what is your definition of love?
Ooh, my definition of love is something that you feel and that fills you, that you don't have to do anything to deserve it. It's just yours, and it makes you feel good, and you don't have to explain it. You don't have to, you know, earn it. It's just yours. And when something makes you feel love, you don't owe anybody an explanation of why it makes you feel love. Just know that that makes you feel love, and continue to do it, and then evolve it, adapt it, grow it, so that you can feel love in multiple ways, in multiple things. And knowing like, yes, this makes me feel good, yes, this makes me feel love, but if I push it too far, it can be draining, it can be straining. So you have to find that balance with everything, because anything can be a beautiful thing like water, but too much of it is gonna be bad for you. Same with food. We need food to live, but too much of it is going to be bad for you. You have to find that balance, and knowing like, this makes me feel so good, this makes me feel loved, but I can't overindulge. I have to find that sweet spot. I have to find that balance with everything, because I think relying on one thing to feel loved is detrimental. I think you have to have so many outlets, because if you rely on just the gym to feel good, what are you going to do if you can't access that anymore? Are you not going to feel love ever again? If you rely on one person to feel love and then they disappear, is the love gone forever?
That's why self-love is so important, because we can't be putting it's not that like putting faith in people's love is a bad thing. To believe that somebody can love you is so powerful. I believe in your power. We never even met to love me. Vice versa, I hope.
It's vice versa.
But believing, I believe that love starts with connection too. We talk about connection to self, like that's a very grounding experience, is to realize I might not be able to define how this feels right now, but I think I'm feeling connected to myself, and I know that feels good, right? And following that, leaving these breadcrumbs for ourselves and being like, I'm gonna come back to this state because that felt good. Meditating, whole different type of self-love connection. Leave some breadcrumbs for next time, because these are energetic spaces we're creating for ourselves to deepen this action of self-love. I think that why we have to ask, okay, why do we have to self-love? Because it really is what can make the world go around. This world is so heavily impacted by the imbalance of love, the lack thereof. They don't want us to know how powerful it is to love each other, love ourselves, love each other, and that it's going to change the world. The Evolving podcast, we know that the revolution is found in the evolution of us, and knowing that it really comes to be loving each other that's going to, starting with ourselves and loving each other, that's going to change the world. Living on that valued energy.
Absolutely. And to add to that, for me, speaking my truth, speaking these things that align with me, make me feel love. And then anytime someone agrees with it, anytime someone is able to bounce off of me and have a conversation, I feel love. So for me, it's about speaking a lot that I feel love, and connection and conversation where I feel love. Like, I love deep conversation. And when I connect with people that I'm able to have deep conversations with, I feel love. And I know that that energy is going to be continuous. And when you were saying leaving the breadcrumbs, like, not only for you to find later, but other people will be like, where are these breadcrumbs leading? And they may not know what they're getting themselves involved in, but they are called to follow that for a reason. And then when they get there, like, this is what I've been looking for, this is what I've been hoping for, this is what I've been praying for. And I'm so happy I followed my intuition and followed these breadcrumbs that I had no idea were there for. But you left them for them unconsciously, and they unconsciously followed you to consciously connect.
I think that's why sharing is so important, and to hold yourself back from sharing. Like, sharing doesn't just mean with you and me. Sharing means with ourselves. I can withhold things from myself, from experiencing it, from feeling it, and by not sharing with myself, I know I'm hurting myself. That's familiar. And to share with me and to share with you is this new experience where we know, right? This reciprocity, this mutuality, this conversation and communication is being met with so much receptiveness. It's insane. Like, we have genuinely sought out these experiences, and I didn't have to lose faith that I wasn't going to meet people like this. I was just going to meet them in a different way, because that's how energy works, okay?
Yes. And like, on to bounce off of you again, it's like vulnerability and transparency. Like when you are like that, when you open yourself up with vulnerability and transparency, you are met back with love. Not by every single person, not all the time, but that love, because you were vulnerable, you were open, you were selfless, that love is going to return to you. And I can affirm that by saying, like, this whole connection with you has been very, like, affirming. And I'm just like, somebody gets it, and somebody is telling me the things that I needed to hear, that I've said before, but maybe I forgot, or maybe it was just more powerful to hear it from a different person. And that also gives me the strength and the motivation to keep doing what I'm doing, because if you can impact me, that means that's the impact that I've been having. And it's just like the constant cycle of energy, and it helps me keep going, because I'm just like, no, this girl just breathed life into me, and if I breathe life into anybody, then I can't stop, because this is so powerful and this is so life-changing that I want everyone to be able to experience it and embody love.
Living on valued energy, and life is love, right? Like, if we can do it for ourselves, if we can touch somebody else and have this belief that yes, it's gonna snowball, it's not gonna go away, it builds. It's this momentum that we know in our hearts is going to, I love the phrase shattering ceilings, but like, I don't know, it's beyond raising the roof. It's shifting consciousness, shifting paradigms, like whatever pretty word portals you want to use. Like, it happens. I think when we start to affirm ourselves. Like, I don't know why I just had something come through where, like, if some people are wondering where they should start, affirmations for yourself, and knowing that there are infinite ways that you can affirm yourself, but you have to start. Starts with saying I am, and you fill in the blank with what you want to feel, with what you want to do, who you want to become, and watch it get real. If you want a little, Riz razzle dazzle, I've been using that a lot. A little razzle
Sprinkle,
sprinkle, write that shit down. Write it down.
Yeah.
Pen and paper. Do it. And in time, giving it time, like you said, seeds are such a beautiful analogy, because us humans have to physically experience growth in a timeline, but watching something grow physically is knowing that we can watch our words, our intentions, our actions grow, our connections, our self-love, love for the world grow.
Absolutely. And I just also want to say again that it's like anybody can achieve it. Like, we're all human beings and we all have the same power within, but it's a choice. It's the discipline, it's the commitment. And like, bodybuilders become bodybuilders because they are disciplined and committed to doing that. And anybody has the power to do that, just like anybody has the power to evolve and to ascend and to break out of patterns and to be reborn. You can do it. Anybody can do it. You can wake up tomorrow and decide to be a completely different person, and if you're disciplined and consistent with it, you will transform yourself and your being, your aura. And it may take a month or so for other people to recognize it and to believe it, but it's still your process. It's your transformation. And you'll get that reassurance, you'll get that confirmation externally whenever you're ready for it, but the transformation is already coming from within. And you are so powerful and you're so capable.
Everybody is everywhere. I love that you emphasize that, because I feel like that's a perfect way to encapsulate everything. Is this is supposed to impact everybody. Nobody is exempt from feeling love. Only we ourselves tell ourselves that, and we have to break that narrative. It starts with burning those narratives and knowing that from those ashes a whole new story for yourself can be written. We write it every day, and on so many levels, just knowing that, oh man, I had a thought that I was gonna say and it had to do again with affirmations, and it's beyond my grasp right now, so I'm not gonna
It's on for another time, because we're gonna do this again. Yes. And we're gonna keep on going, and it's just the beginning of this journey, and I'm so glad to have connected with you. I'm so glad to know you. I'm so glad to learn from you and be inspired and motivated by you, and to just have a soul sister and somebody somewhere in the world.
Everything that you said, right back at you. Wish I could shoot circles from my head. You know, times 10, and I can't wait to meet you in person and have this experience. This experience where we can connect. Like, if we can connect like this on it digitally, girl.
Imagine.
Let me hop on the plane. Like, I'm gonna be in Houston before you know it.
I really hope you come with me in May.
I was just talking about it this morning.
I'm just gonna, manifest that and put that out there.
Yes, it's my notes. I feel called to write it down, watch it happen. But making those things like conscious acts of, I really want to be now in this group, this community setting, and build these gifts that I've been working on for the past couple of years. Voila, here you are, here we are, and we're building right now. So yes. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful to get to see you grow, and just the reassurance you've given me on my journey has been so powerful, and I just want to give that back to you, and for us to just keep flowing together. And I feel so good. Thank you for
this first of the month energy.
Yes, the moment we had to do. This is what we had to do. And I just thank you for your love and acceptance and patience in this journey that we're doing together.
And I thank you for the same, babe. I know everybody that's here, everybody that gets to be in touch with this message is going to have like this positive perspective to look forward to. It's life-changing.
Absolutely. Well, I hope you have a beautiful day. My iPad's on 1%. I gotta go.
Okay. I hope you too. Everybody here too.
I love you. I love you all for joining. I love you all for seeing this. We would love to hear your feedback, and we'll be back for another time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, babe. Love you too. Have a good day.